I'm in a lot of trouble. Something happened to Brian.
Mom, are you okay? Just tell me where you are and I'll come get you.
Who is this?
All right, thank you so much for your time. And I wanted to mention that when I was doing my research on the movie, I was surprised that you won several awards with this film in some festivals. Then I saw that you have a very strong storyline and cinematography in the film. Was the film shot chronologically, or was this is something that you were contemplating or had in mind since the beginning of the story?
Yeah, I mean, I started writing this film 8 years ago. And it's funny when I talk to filmmakers now, I would think that's a lot of time. When you talk to screenwriters, they're like, yeah, that's about how long it takes to get something worth shooting, to get something on paper that's worth shooting. And so, you know, I wrote first few versions. You take those versions to like, close friends and family, and usually their feedback is they hate it. They
Wow.
don't understand what you're doing. They don't see the vision. And so you go back and you rewrite it and you rewrite it and you rewrite it. And finally you start to feel like you've got something that's worth pointing a camera at. And then COVID hit. And so everyone was telling me, they're like, look, man, you can be a hero and you can shoot this thing. But there's all these COVID regulations now, and it's going to be really expensive. And so by the time like 2022 rolled around, I was just dying to get on set. I felt like I had all the pieces to get this thing moving. And so what we did is we did a test shoot. We basically we had 3 days. I got four actors on set, uh,
Mhm.
my crew, and I'm like, we need to figure out like the monster. Let's just roll tape and see what we get. Let's figure out how we're going to get this sort of like shadow that's following this main character. And it was great. It was very clarifying for me that I had the right team. It was very exhilarating that I like had what it took to like direct a whole crew and connect with the actors. And then we broke. And it took another full year to get everybody back on set again.
Wow.
And what was crazy was that in that year, basically 100-year storm had hit Pine Mountain, which is this town up in Kern County, just past Santa Clarita. And it was so frustrating because we had all this breathtaking footage from the test shoot that now had to be stitched together with basically like 2, 3 feet of snow.
Wow.
So, your question about like, could we shoot it chronologically? Man, I would have loved to shoot it chronologically, but we
Hmm.
had to bob and weave and hustle through sleet and rain and snow and sunshine and snow falling and snow melting. And so literally day over day, we had to make, game day decisions about what we were going to shoot, who was available, which locations we had access to, and how we were going to match scene A to scene B. And thank God it was a psychological horror. So we were like, oh, she doesn't remember. Main character doesn't remember. It's all confused in her head. So yeah, we had a lot of twists and turns about exactly how we were going to get it done. And I would tell anyone who's trying to shoot a film is get it all done in one sweep. Don't try and do like one, two, three, four different shoots because it's a nightmare to navigate it all.
Independent films often relied on creative problem solving rather than the big budget. What usually comes first for you, the visual style of the movie or the story itself?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I spent a lot of time knowing, first of all, I knew that I was going to have to do a lot of this stuff myself. I
Mhm.
knew that I was going to have to write and location scout and fund and cast this myself. So I met a lot of people in this process. I looked at every abandoned building in Southern California. I met a lot of people who ran junkyards. I ran people that were like you know, auto mechanics. I met people that were drug addicts. I met people, a gentleman pulled me aside. He goes, listen, man, he goes, me and my family were touched by addiction, and one of our family members overdosed. And I read the script, and I got to tell you, I feel like you're maybe not taking this seriously enough.
Mhm.
This subject matter that you're writing feels a bit of a caricature of what a drug dealer and a drug addict might be going through. I feel like you're maybe not taking it seriously enough. And I remember hanging up the phone with him and being like, oh, he's right. This is a very dark subject matter for many people. I
Yeah.
need to revisit the sort of like tone of the film. I need to make this even darker if I'm going to be able to sell this as like a real high stakes set of moments for audiences. And so there were many moments in the film where I like came to know Kern County very deeply. I came to know the people in Kern County who are living, in desperate places in the high desert, how people who are dealing with drug addiction function day to day. And it really made a big impact on me on like what was going to be in the story. So yeah, I think there's a lot of twists and turns in the process. And by the time I got on set, I felt like I had a really, really strong vision for what I wanted people to feel and what I wanted them to see on screen.
Perfect, perfect. Well, I'm always curious about this part because once the film is finished, what was the real step for you as a director to get that movie into the real world? Do you
Yeah.
go to festivals? Do you actually look for sales agents, or do you just go straight to digital? What's the step?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in festivals right now. We're going through the distribution process. We've had a really good run in the festival circuit.
Hmm.
Shouts out to my lead actor Shelby Parks, who won Best Actor. Shouts out to my DP Bryant Swanstrom, who won for Best Cinematography. I was honored to take awards for Best Original Screenplay and Best Director. Um, Going to festivals, it's a great venue to network with other filmmakers and to have your friends and family and crew and strangers come see your film. The big unlock for me was what we know as Hollywood is not there. What we know as Hollywood is not what's holding you back from getting your film in front of audiences. We
Hmm.
live in this era of social media. We live in this era of sort of direct to consumer marketing where you have direct access to audience members. It's not like it was in the 2000s or in the 90s where you had to go through distributors and exhibitors to get your film in front of folks. And so now you're able to have this conversation directly with people that are going to be interested in your film. As filmmakers, I think we're taught to be entrepreneurs, right? We have limited resources. We're going to have to write the thing ourselves,
Hmm.
produce the thing ourselves, finance the thing ourselves. But there's this notion that suddenly when the film is finished, that we can just sort of hand it over to a sales agent or hand it over to a streamer, and they'll take it from there.
Hmm.
They'll have sprinkled magic fairy dust on the remaining part of the process. And I think that that's just such a terrible way for filmmakers to think about it is just like, no, you have the story in your head. You have the idea of who this film is going to land with. You understand the messaging that will get people to click play. And so I think really like filmmakers should be deeply invested in that, selling, distribution, marketing process. So
Hmm.
we're looking very closely at distributors. We're looking very closely at self-distributing the film. I think if it's funny, it's kind of many ways a bit of a psyop that self-distributing a film is a bad outcome. In many ways, if you have a good grasp on cost per acquisition marketing and your target audience, you can make the film very successful and very lucrative, as opposed to just giving up a bunch of your rights to a distributor who they know what they're up against. The odds are stacked against distributors and streamers right now. And so, you as the filmmaker are the best sort of imprimatur of getting the film out to the right people.